Welcome back. Today's episode, negative emotions are awesome. And if you know me, that will make sense. And if you don't, that title might sound a little bit strange. So let's get into understanding what can we do with these negative emotions that makes them so valuable. So let's get into it. Right now on Patreon, I'm doing some courses on timeline therapy, learning how to do timeline therapy for yourself. And it's really wonderful, and I'm seeing some really fantastic self sessions that people are doing, and they're getting some fantastic and amazing results, which I love. And when you've spent enough time with timeline therapy or with Om Japa in the chakras, you understand this huge value of uncovering something inside of yourself. Because you begin to understand, look, oh my God, this subconscious junk that I've been carrying around, if I can get rid of it, then I'm going to be that much more free. So every piece of junk that I find in my subconscious is extremely valuable. Because if I can solve the riddle of that junk, why am I carrying it around? If I can solve that riddle and clear it out, that's exactly how much more free I'm going to be. This is extremely true for the Kriya Yogi. And I have told the story that Ashokji told me, look, when you find a negative emotion inside of yourself and you om into that negative emotion over and over again, and you release it, that is the true Kriya Yoga. And my mouth fell open because I was studying the 7 Kriyas that he had to give me, the 7 formal Kriyas. And I was hell-bent to get all of them. Or you could say heaven-bent. I was heaven-bent to get all of them. And he told me this simple formula during the day, that's the real Kriya Yoga. And my mouth fell open. And he goes, well, it's the one you're doing all day. Therefore, that is the real Kriya Yoga, the thing that you are doing all day. When we do Om Japa in the chakras, when you're doing the original Kriya of Lahiri Mashaya and you're doing the Om Japa, which is inside of that technique, right? We know that that is the way the technique was intended because Lahiri Mashaya wrote multiple letters to his gurus and to his students. Look, if there's not Om Japa in the Kriya, then it's going to turn out tamasic. It's going to have a negative result eventually. He warned them. And his family thought this was so important. They put this secret in the letters that they published for everyone. That's how important it was to Lahiri Mashaya and his family. So we know that Om Japa is in the technique already, right? Everybody knows that, okay? And so when you're doing that Kriya, you Om into the chakra. And as you are able, you want to be able to feel the chakra or the chakras before you Om into them. Then you want to Om into those chakras. And then you want to feel how those chakras feel afterwards. So maybe you feel before your session, and then you do your Kriyas, and then you feel afterwards. Or maybe you feel the chakra, you do some Om, and then you feel the chakra afterwards. And you're hoping to feel a shift. You're hoping to feel, I feel a little more clean. I feel a little more open. I feel a little more unobstructed. I feel a little more clarity. All of that. That is the huge sign that the Kriya Yoga is working correctly. But you won't always feel that. You won't always feel a difference in the chakra. And you won't always feel a specific anything, a specific negative emotion or anything inside of the chakra. It might just be a very general feeling. And so look at the opportunity of a negative emotion. You're walking through your day. Somebody cuts you off. Somebody does something in the office. Somebody says a comment, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a negative emotion, right? What an amazing opportunity. I don't have to guess anymore. I can feel that negative emotion. Now, maybe I'm not exactly clear what chakra it's in. Maybe I can't feel it in one specific chakra over another. Maybe I feel it in multiple chakras. Maybe I feel it all over. Maybe I can't even associate it with the body. Maybe I just feel it, okay? All of that is fantastic. But these negative emotions will be projected into the chakras. And so it presents to us this amazing opportunity to test the validity of Om Japa. So I have the negative emotion. It's arisen automatically as I walk through life. And Ashokji's voice will ring through my ears forever. Just clean it out. Just clean it out. Just clean it right out. Just snuff it right out from the beginning. I can see him running out of his house, telling me that as I pull out of his driveway, he's running out in his slippers just to make sure he drives the point home into my brain one more time, and it worked. I'll never forget, thankfully. So here we are, we have a negative emotion, it's arisen. I feel it wherever I feel it, however I feel it, it's there. And now I'm going to mentally Om into that negative emotion directly. So I just Om into it mentally. I can combine that with my breath. And I'm showing you the Ha breath. You can do it without an open mouth. You can do it through the nose. With the sound of Om mentally into that negative emotion. That makes it very, very powerful. And then watch. So I felt the emotion, I Om'd into it, I felt the emotion, I Om'd into it. Oh my God, it shrunk. That's what you'll notice. It shrunk. Oh my God, it took the edge off of it. It took the edge off of me. It took the edge off of that negative emotion. And then it shrinks some more, and then it shrinks some more. And suddenly that problem, which was so big, I can't wrap my mind around this thing that's happening in my life. I'm so upset about it. And it shrinks and it shrinks and it shrinks. And we go, oh my God, now the problem is small enough that we can wrap our minds around it. We can begin to wrap our minds around it. And suddenly we get a learning. Oh my God, this is not my problem, it's their problem. Oh my God, I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. It's very minor. Oh my God, it's not personal. I thought it was personal. It's not personal. Whatever the learning is, we begin to wrap our minds around it, and it's the learning that will set you free. The wisdom which sets you free. It lets you let go of the thing in the world, the problem, right? And you Om again, and boom, that problem, it's gone. It evaporated. It never really existed. It was all a figment, right? And now you know the Om Japa works. What an amazing opportunity. And this riddle in my life that I couldn't wrap my mind, it was so big, I couldn't wrap my mind around it, and now it's shrunk, and I get the learning, and I have begun this journey of solving this particular riddle in my life. That's huge. And all that energy, all that mind power, all that fuel of my life and the story of my soul that was invested into this junky thing that was in my day, it's back in me. It's not invested into this thing, this junk, this outward projection. It's not invested, and I get it all back. And you will see somebody that has joy or has bliss or has love or has a connection. You will look into them and you'll go, oh my God, there's a charge running through them. Where did it come from? A lot of that charge is simply having a little bit more of a cleaned up subconscious. And all that charge that was available and thrown into the world is coming back into the person, and you will feel that. You do the Kriya Yoga, and I like to say, give it a year and see what, don't stop, but give it a year. Give it 3 years and see what it does to you. Do the Om Japa every single day for a year and watch. I think it was Carolyn Mace. I think she said she said it this way, that your spirit will go out and attach to things, and then you will retrieve your spirit. That's what I'm talking about. You were invested into something, and all of that investment takes fuel. And now it's back in you. And so you'll feel some of that. And do it for a year. You'll feel that. You're more alive than you were a year ago. We were in the mud and downtrodden. And suddenly we're lifting out of the mud of life. And you feel it. It's kind of amazing. And you start feeling clear. I was talking with a wonderful deep yogini the other day, and she goes, oh my God, I thought that I had to get my mind perfect. I had to clear my mind perfectly, and then I could begin to feel the freeze response. I'm like, oh, no. That's backwards. She goes, yeah, I get it. That's backwards. We want the freeze first. And that freeze, that dorsal vagal, that slower, low idle state, creates the clarity that clears the mind. And it won't be perfect. It will not be perfect. Don't look for perfection. Look for progress. Don't look for perfection. It's more clear. And now we're coming into what Patanjali was talking about. I'm using the freeze response to create clarity. And along the way, I am merging with the subconscious. I'm going into the low idle state. I am encountering the slower brainwaves. I am becoming okay with myself. I am cleaning out the junk of my life. We all have it. We all have that junk of life. Things happen. We have to process it. It's too much. We can't process it all. We hold it in the subconscious. And the subconscious is a riddle machine. It wants to resolve all of that. So it carries it like a little kid. Look, hey, I got this to resolve. Can we resolve this now? No. I'm busy. I'm driving. I'm working. I'm doing something. Oh, okay. I'll put it back. And it puts it down into the subconscious and it waits. Oh, is this a good time? And finally, through a process like timeline therapy, or a process like Huna, or a process like Om Japa in the chakras, we begin to solve those riddles. We get the little tiny learnings. They're not huge. They don't have to be huge. It can be very simple. Tad said a good learning will be positive self-future. Stated positively, not negatively. About me, not about other people. And about my future, how I'm going to be in the future. I don't need to concentrate on how I was in the past. That's what I learned from. And then I project that learning into the future, how I'm going to operate differently. So positive self-future. That's a fantastic, powerful learning when it's that organized. Positive self-future. You get those little learnings, and suddenly, bit by bit, the life becomes more clear, and that allows more and more, along with the low idle state, along with the freeze response, along with the roll-up of consciousness, it allows this profound clarity to come over you in meditation. And so all the cleaning and the freeze response and the low idle state, those come first. The clarity is a result. Beautiful, right? So the next time a negative emotion jumps up at you, don't fret, don't worry. Just go, oh my God, look at this. This is great. Oh man, you came to the party. Let's have an Om Japa party. And you Om into it, and you Om into it, and you see it soften. You see it shrink. You feel it, right? You don't have to see it. You feel it. You feel it shrink, and it shrinks down, and it shrinks down, and you get the learning, and it disappears. It's gone. It's an amazing process. And as you practice that process, you get better at it. It gets more powerful, and it happens even faster. So that eventually, sometimes you might put one Om and the whole thing evaporates. Kind of amazing. It's the brain which is projecting the problem down into the chakras. And you are disrupting that projection in the chakra. And the energy goes back into the brain, and along the way we get the learning. And that's what sets us free. So I hope that you will entertain the idea that a negative emotion might be an awesome opportunity. I hope you love this. If you did, be sure to hit that bell down below so I can see all of you next time.